Here I am, in the place to be. Mr. K and B, you can't fuck with me. Extra sexy, extraordinary. Palms are hairy, your mama pop. What up, y'all? K and B, the Sexy Ninja here, in the place to be for Cplus Studios, and welcome to the Sexy Ninjacast. So, I was brought this topic I'm about to speak on real quick. Being a Juggalo. I've never denied it nor tried to hide it. This whole journey started especially on YouTube, for us on YouTube, with me telling the world about my love for the Juggalo community, the Juggalo culture, and what Insane Clown Posse means to me. The very first That Juggalo vlog, when I initially started, before it was even like considered like doing music reviews, it was to talk about my thoughts on the split between Twiztid and ICP. Started with when I became a Juggalo, when the Wraith Shangri-La dropped, and how that affected me, and it changed me, and what Insane Clown Posse means to me even to this day. You know, it's a culture and a phenomenon, and it's forever. And is the community still in great shape? I would say yes and no. You know, there's interpretations in there, like the word Juff. Like, you know, there's some split in this community. Ever since the Twiztid and ICP thing kind of just took it in different directions. But in that aspect, like I talked with the homie Colin, he brought it up too. Really, he brought this up because ever since then, and ever since this community kind of split, and you know, people will be like, no, it didn't split. No, it didn't. No. Yeah, you're either this side or that side. Beforehand, it was about the music, it was about the love, it was about the respect of each other, it was about being the outcast and finding that family value. Yes, that family value is still there, and family fight. But when you look online and you have people be like, oh, you're a Juff. I hate that word. You know, it's like, you're like, or you're a Twizzler. And what a Twizzler is a fan of Twiztid. I am a fan of it all. I love Twiztid. I love ICP. Their music has like saved my life more than 20 times over. You know, especially in moments like there's albums. These albums themselves, when they came out, have an impact on my life. I could tell you where I was. I'll tell you what I did when I skipped school to go get the Dark Lotus, the OPEC Brotherhood at Hastings. Hastings itself being the hub in Flagstaff, Arizona, to go get those albums. Like when I got the Mighty Death Pot, they came out with all 3 versions. I remember me and my brother, we went there, and they sold the albums for like $8.99. So it wasn't breaking the bank. Now it's different. We're in a new world of how we consume music. We don't go to the store to buy a record. I miss those days, because when you buy a record, you buy an album, you're looking at the art and this and that. Yeah, sure, I can order it online. I can, and it'll come to me and this and that. But do you remember when it was Tuesday when music dropped? When the music would drop, you would go to the store and you would pick up that album. Ooh, and you open the package and you rip it. You felt the magic, and when you had that CD on, and how you were like, oh my gosh, you listen. And when you got the lyrics and a booklet, that was even better because you could read along with it. I remember that feeling when I got the Wraith, because it had the lyrics in it, and there was a couple misprints and stuff like that. But I remember just being in awe of the fact that I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. I'm reading the lyrics. And I remember when we bought the album, I remember sitting in the back of the car with my CD player listening. And my mom's like, let me hear what's going on. And she's like, oh my God, what the fuck is this? And when I became a Juggalo, when that album changed everything, my perspective on life, my perspective on who I am as a person, on who I want to be as a person. It was mind-boggling fucking awesome. And I still believe in it to this day, even though I've said that there's some split with the community. It's still love. It's still respect. Respect each other. Don't be disrespectful. Don't be an asshole, or I'm going to be that back. It's a two-way street, and people choose this, as like me, I'm like, okay, I'm over here. I'm doing my thing. I'm just going to love it all, So with saying that, Insane Clown Posse have been around for 30 years. That's crazy. And still, causing trends like on TikTok and everything like that. Still being, I would say, not relevant like they were. Like I feel like they still have some say. But with the recent past few years, ICP, they dropped Yum Yum Bedlam, the Yum Yum Flower, and a couple EPs to go along with that. That's their latest releases. And it's part of the new 6, the Joker cards. And the countdown, I can only imagine the countdown when the Carnival of Carnage dropped. And we built from there to the Ringmaster, to the Riddle Box, to the Great Malenko, to the amazing Jekyll Brothers, and the Wraith, Shangri-La, and Hell's Pit. And they really didn't get they didn't really get they hustled their asses off. If you read Behind the Paint, or if you can find the audiobook, their history in the industry is phenomenal. And what they dealt with through and through, being told, fuck you, becoming the most hated band. These guys played Woodstock 99. Even though Woodstock 99 is considered trash because of what the event, it was nasty, it was muddy, there's some documentaries on it and stuff like that. The fact that they could be like, we played at Woodstock, and when the Great Malenko came out, it came out and then it was pulled by Disney because Disney owned Hollywood Records. And that sparked the nation's interest. Because if you talk to somebody who's not really down with the clown, or they're not, most of the time they're like, oh yeah, I remember that Great Malenko album, the Netting Game. Huh. Oh, that's such a good album. Most people who are not hardcore Insane Clown Posse fans, that's usually the album they gravitate towards, because it caused a media wave when the album was released and the album was taken off. It was taken off the shelves the same day. So, and they became a hot product that they did, but they still were hated. Their music is considered garbage by a lot of people, but if you don't really look down and look into, like, if you just need to sit down and listen to a full record, especially the 6 Joker cards, the first 6. If you listen to those albums from front to back, you'll find some certain message or find a song that you will like. People just need to give it a chance, and it builds. And what's crazy is, I'm so in, I am so, I could hear a song of Violent J, and I could tell you which era that J is, because his voice changes from the starting of Carnival, for the first album to the 6th, to the 6 Jokers card. His evolution in his voice has been crazy, and it's been changing. It's changed a little bit. It's changed to this day, and they're ever evolving with different sounds, And we got to thank the great Mikey Clark for creating that Carnival sound. And when the 6 dropped, and Hell's Pit and Shangri-La, I remember, there's the great seminar. If you can probably find it on YouTube. If you watch this seminar, I've talked about this seminar before, but you should watch it. And they talk about the evolution and everything they went through and try and hustle and hustle and hustle. There's also a great documentary called The United States of Insanity. I just rewatched it again, and it's a great doc. I've done a review for it. You should check it out. And they talk about us being on the gang list And I've been affected by that. As much as people say, like, oh, that was, that was this, that was that, I've been affected by that. I've been arrested once in my life, like I said, and they put me under gang affiliation because of my tattoo on my hand. And what's funny is, like, if you've been following us for a very long time, you know that I have most of my tattoos are Juggalo tattoos related. My next tattoo is going to be a Juggalo related tattoo. It's going to be the Wraith. But on my arm, it says Juggalo. I got the Carnival of Carnage on my right leg. I got the Dark Lotus Cross because Tales from the Lotus Pod is the album that I constantly wrote. The Mars version, the Red Cross, not the Gold Cross. So let's get that straight. The Gold Cross is on all Spotify albums. It features ABK, who replaced Mars because Mars left the group and sparked a beef with Jay and everything like that. And, I prefer the Red Cross, and I have it on CD. And usually if I'm like, I feel like some Dark Lotus, that's the album I'll put in. Black Rain after that. And you're probably asking, if you're not into this community, Dark Lotus is a super group. And the official members is Blaze, Twiztid, and Insane Clown Posse. The sixth member has always come and gone. They've even said it in seminars and stuff like that. They're like, that sixth spot is fucking cursed. And they kind of like, it's just ICP Twiztid. And in light of that, with the family not being all together, Twiztid has been doing Dark Lotus songs. And if you see in like Juggalo chats, Juggalo groups, they're called Diet Lotus to people who hate. I don't like, Dark Lotus means so much to me that it's one of those things where I wish we can go back to that. I wish we can go back to, there's pictures that I've gone through, posters that I've had where, they're all there. ABK, Blaze Your Dead Homie, ICP, Twiztid, Boondocks. And once the split happened, and I think of a time in the era before all of that, when we had Axe Murder Boys, we had so much good. DJ Clay's Let 'Em Bleed series. That's a great series. And the fact, too, now that I'm older, and the fact that I've talked to most of these people that I've idolized for very long, and I'm very grateful for that, especially getting into the podcast game, getting into being somebody who is trying to be an entertainer, someone who wants to be review music and talk about things I love. The fact that I have talked to Shaggy Two Dope in the interview we did is still mind-boggling to me. I got the picture of me and him on my wall, and I had the wristband for that concert and show that he was on his fuck off motherfucker tour. There's some albums you need to listen to. That's a holy trinity. You should check it out. Shaggy Two Dope solo albums: Fuck Off, Fuck the Fuck Off, and Fuck the Fuck Off Motherfucker. And other albums you should check out too: Wizard of the Hood, Violent J. That album is phenomenal from top to bottom. You can listen to it. It's a fucking movie in your head. And they had the chance and opportunity to finally play it on stage, to be on stage and play the album with everybody involved. One of the last hurrahs for the family, and it's so many other great things like supervillains that we never got the superheroes. Rumor has it that maybe that might happen. We shall see. Twiztid, if you look at them now, how they've evolved, I love the fact of how they evolved, and people hate on the fact they try to go rock and stuff like that, but it's just like, fuck off, they're evolving, and I will forever be like, Twiztid! And there's so many Juggalo things out there that it's funny that make me laugh. Colin and being with Colin, and I'm feeling that Juggalo inside of me, especially when we go to concerts, man. And like, I feel that other part of me comes out, my love and passion for music, the underground, and what it was crazy is with Insane Clown Posse, as much as people were like, oh, well, like Tech Nine, Tech Nine has gone on record like, oh, they didn't make me, you know, blah, 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 blah. I think Tech, you know, I wouldn't have listened to you if it wasn't for Insane Clown Posse and you going on that tour, you know, and collabing with the clowns, you know. And now he is still a tremendous artist, but he's trying to be more of a mainstream artist with strange music. Let's think about that. Labels during that time. Suburban Noise Records, you know, Psychopathic Records, you know, the Trinity, you know, and then we had LSP, Lyrical Snuff Productions, you know, and now we have Long Live Evil, you know, and of course Magic Entertainment, Twiztid thing, but we had all these labels during a time when it was just like, holy fuck. You know, because you had strange music, you had, you know, Psychopathic Records, you had Suburban Noise Records, and Cottonmouth Kings. The list goes on, and there's so much great music out there. Like, if you just start, like, when I started with ICP, it opened a door to a whole new world of flavor of just so many bands and everything I like. And, you know, and it's ever evolving into finding new artists, you know, especially in this underground world. If you just listen to Insane Clown Posse, then you hear them with a different artist, you're like, who's that? Then you go into Ouija Mac, you're like, oh shit. And then you go into here, you go listen to Scum and Insane Poetry, their group, Make My Motherfucking Day. It's just an ongoing evolution of the wicked shit, and all the way down to Esham the Unfucking Holy. Listen to his albums. This community, this world is huge, but there's people out there who are like, man, fuck that music. That music's whack. I will tell you that the music that we listen to as Juggalos, or people who respect the community of hip hop and everything like that, all this shit is 10 times fucking better than anything on the pop mainstream hip hop radio today. Mumble rap, bleh. Fucking Tom McDonald, bleh. You know, that conscious rapper shit of, you know, of like, I'm going to say things that a lot of people are thinking, but be controversial and saying it. Fuck you. Fuck you, Tom McDonald. Fuck you. Okay? Tom McDonald can fucking go eat poop, bitch. But like I said, there's a whole slew of things. And one of my I go back and listen to so much, you know, Boondocks. Boondocks and Scarecrow, they got some banging records. Abaddon, like that album, ooh, god damn. You know, and it was funny, is like, with all these albums, especially during that era, I go back to, and it makes me think of things. It makes me think of like, oh man, I remember being so fucking sad, and I played this song over and over and over and over. It's like with Insane Clown Posse's catalog, you know, I know time and place of where I've been, and I remember like after the Six, the album that was next was The Tempest. The Tempest, like, we were going into unknown territories, and people were like, oh, it's a storm, you know, they had these really cool infomercials, it's a storm that's coming, and some people were kind of like, oh, it's a roller coaster ride that they're building to, you know, and everyone was like, oh, well, okay, you know, and I love The Tempest, you know, I remember like Penta, the Unholy. Well, he's now just Penta X. My apologies, but he's told me like that album he hates. A lot of people were like, oh, I ain't feeling that. Every ICP album, I've never been one to be like, oh, that sucked. I've never been that way, because I always find the flavor of the Dark Carnival and the magic of the Dark Carnival inside of it. I always find that mystical, magical reason why I love the Insane Clown Posse. Always. And after that, I remember when the build-up to the Carnival sound being back. The Dark Carnival has arisen again, and we got the first of the second deck of the new Joker cards. We got Bang, Pow, Boom. The return of Mikey Clark producing that record with great tracks like In Your Face, Zombie Slide. You know, it's a record with the song too, Bang Pow Boom, you know, and there's always a theme to the records and about, you know, hate, you know, people, ugly people, racists and all this and that. I've learned to be a good person from the Insane Clown Posse. And we built it from there. We had Bang Pow Boom, We had the Mighty Death Pop. The Marvelous Missing Link, Lost and Found. Okay. I feel like I'm missing a record. Am I missing a record? I feel like I'm missing a record. Okay. We have Bang Pow Boom. We have the Mighty Death Pop. And the Marvelous Missing Link, Lost and Found. We've got, Fearless Fred Fury. I don't know why I forgot. Fearless Fred Fury, I would say, out of these records, next to Yum Yum Bedlam, Fearless Fred Fury is the strongest Joker's card out of this deck, in my opinion. It hits hard. There's songs in there. Like, you should look at the song Nobody's Fault. It's one of my favorite. The music video is great. The message inside that song is great. It's such a great song. Nobody's Fault on the Fearless Fred Fury record. Then go check out Yum Yum Bedlam. And now we're waiting on the 6th Joker's card in this deck. Is it going to be Heaven and Hell, Life and Death? We don't know. And we're waiting. And this past year has been crazy. Violent J lost his girlfriend. He's been going through some stuff. Shaggy went from having one of the greatest podcasts out there, Powcast with Shaggy and the Creep and everything like that. It's just some great stuff, to him backing away and splitting off. And we were supposed to have I'm so sad with what's happened the past couple of years, because we've had things like, this is coming out. Nope. We haven't got the 3rd seed of Yum Yum Bedlam. These 3 EPs. The last EP was supposed to come out on Hollow Wicked, I believe. No mention. But they're like, no, here you go. We got Violent J's Bloody Sunday album comes out. Doesn't come out. And Violent J has been kind of in the background. We really haven't heard from Violent J, and I miss you, brother. I miss you. I hope you get well. I hope you get better. I hope you go through this tragedy with family and loved ones around. And I understand he has mental health issues and stuff like that. I love you, brother. I love you, Shaggy. The fact that I got to meet you is still fucking mind-boggling. The fact that I even got the message Violent J, I have that message still from me and him messaging each other, and I will not release it because it's something that's still near and dear. The fact that I have talked to Violent J through text, and the fact that I have met Shaggy 2 Dope is still one of the greatest fucking things in my life. It's just one of those things damn, I idolize these guys for so fucking long, got tattoos, and the fact that I got to bond is dope. Yeah, and, what's 2023 going to bring for the Clowns? I hope they come back even stronger. I hope that the 6th Joker's card is something that's just going to blow our wigs off, because Yum Yum Bedlam was damn good. There's great songs, Panic Attack, oh, shit. Here Comes the Carnival, so many, and the EPs themselves have been bangers. There's me and Colin go back and forth. He's like, yeah, that was all right. But I'm always like, fuck yeah. New Insane Clown Posse, it's a drug. It's something that I pump into my system, man. So if you want to go down this road of listening, start with the first 6 Joker's cards. And, then go into the little EPs in between, Tunnel of Love, Beverly Kills, Terror Will. There's so many great gems. And get past the fact that you're like, I heard these guys suck. You just wear clown makeup. It's fucking dope. Go to a concert. I know Violent J's health issues too. That's another thing. Yeah, he had to stop. Basically, they had to stop touring and stuff like that because of his health issues. And if you watch the documentary, United States of Insanity, there's a part there that makes me very sad, where he talks about panic attacks and stuff like that. And he, you can see it, and he's like, it sucks, man. You just feel for him. There's also a picture that I have on my phone I like to see, because they were on Twitch for a while. They had some great funny shows. I'm still paying the $5 something a month, whatever, but they haven't been on there. And that's why this past couple of years have been so damn, dude, I can't wait until they get their feet back on the ground and Insane Clown Posse comes back better than ever, because that Twitch stuff was fantastic, man. I go back and rewatch some of that stuff. It's the best hilarious stuff you can ever think of, especially when they play games and how their interaction with each other. Yeah, we've had a lot of cancellations, but still, there's still gems in that, and I can't wait till they come back to Twitch. And I can't wait to see what Shaggy does with the Shaggy Show and stuff like that. I'm going to miss Shaggy and the Creep, but the Creep is doing his own thing and everything like that. The fact I got to meet the Creep, in Denver. That was fucking dope. I got to meet Light, up in Denver. I got to meet so many artists in this community that I've done reviews for that I'm like, bro, I look to you as gods. All of these ninjas, everybody in the underground, I look at you guys as gods. And I used to rap, but now that I know that there's like super famous fun time guys, Alazu Ilu, Scum, Cody Manson, like there's so many things that I listen to that I'm just like, I can't top that. I can't do that. I can't go there. I am not talented enough to do that. So I will review it and love it and share it with everybody. The underground means the world to me, and it still means the world to me. There's people out there. I've made friends like Penta X. He went to, I reviewed him. Like there's people I'm friends with now that I reviewed music for, and we're on a constant basis of talking and stuff like that. It's dope. Then we find other things that we love, like professional wrestling or movies or something like that. It's an ongoing slew of just awesomeness. And I thank you for rocking with me. I thank you for the growth. And it is so dope on this journey of being a juggalo, still being a juggalo, and being a juggalo for fucking life, and who I am as a person. So, and sharing that with Big Daddy, sharing that with Jimbo, sharing that with Steven. Steven, I know he's had a Faygo, and it's pretty damn good having that Faygo. I know Big Daddy's had that Faygo. He had a Faygo hot dog when we met Shaggy. That's right. And there's so many great sources of Juggalo shit out there. Juggalos in recovery. They're helping people get sober. They're helping people stay clean. That's dope. There's Juggalo. There's dudes put out a Juggalo coloring book. Dope. People helping each other. Juggalo charities and stuff like that bring, food drives and stuff. It's a huge community. And people are out there and we're trying to make the best of it. Yes, I said there was a split. But that doesn't mean that they're not being good people. It's just, it happens. Everyone has an opinion and everybody's entitled to their opinion. But I love every single one of y'all. Okay? Like and subscribe. Share with your grandma. Share with your grandpa. Share with the bum down at Walmart. I am KMB, the sexy ninja. And as always, I love you. Stay sexy, ninjas. Whoop, whoop!
Welcome to the wicked shit.